So first, we're going to ask Pedro Hernandez Jr. to come up and give the prayer for today.
Well, how's everyone doing? This is a prayer of the farm worker struggle by Cesar Chavez, United Farm Workers founder, 1927 to 1993. Show me the suffering of your most miserable, so I will know my people's plight. Free me to pray for others, for you are present in every person. Help me take responsibility for my own life so that I can be free at last. Grant me courage to serve others, for in service there is true life. Give me honesty and patience so that I can work with other workers. Bring forth song and celebration so that the Spirit will be alive among us. Let the Spirit flourish and grow so that we will never tire of the struggle. Let us remember those who have died for justice, for they have given us life. Help us love even those who hate us so we can change the world. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And so what we're going to do now is present a little story of Cesar E. Chavez. Cesar Chavez was born on March the 31st in 1927 in Yuma, Arizona. Cesar Chavez was a Latino farm worker, labor leader, civil rights activist, and creator for social change. Chavez was co-founder of the United Farm Workers, which advocates for better wages, safer worker conditions on American farmlands. Cesar Chavez is more than a symbol and role model for the farm workers. Cesar demonstrated the need for all working people to support those who are oppressed and exploited, working for dignity on the job and in the community, increasing democratic rights for working people, and challenging the powerful in defense of the powerless. March the 31st, 2021 marks the 13th annual Cesar E. Chavez Awards Dinner in Austin, Texas. We must continue our powerful coalition building amongst groups targeted by Trump's proposed policies, from attacks on immigrants to attacks on public education and the environment, from the assault on unions and health care, from voter suppression efforts to deny fair wages for women. We recognize the interwoven nature of all forms of oppression, protect Mother Earth, and protect humanity. Austin residents have celebrated the life of Cesar Chavez and his selfless dedication for farm workers and workers' rights, economic justice, civil rights, environmental justice, peace, nonviolence, and empowerment of the poor and disenfranchised. As Cesar Chavez once said, "We have a power that comes from the justice of our cause. So long as we are willing to sacrifice for that cause, so long as we persist in nonviolence and work to spread the message of our struggle, then millions of people around the world will respond from their heart, and in the end, we will overcome. Viva la huelga, viva la causa, viva Cesar Chavez."
Que viva Cesar Chavez.
Que viva. Today, we are reflecting on the life of Cesar E. Chavez and the struggle for justice. The spirit of Cesar Chavez lives in all of us. Today, we are recognizing and honoring individuals that continue the struggle for justice, individuals that help keep the spirit of Cesar E. Chavez alive. Poder continues the legacy of working with colleges, churches, elected officials, and communities organizations to achieve justice. We are proud to announce the recipients of the 13th Annual Cesar E. Chavez Se Puede Awards. These individuals have demonstrated that Se Puede, we can make a difference. Our first honoree is Anthony Gamez Jr., known as AJ. AJ has been a member of Poder's Young Scholars for Justice for over 4 years. AJ has participated in leadership programming that provides education, service learning, and wellness that leverages his expertise to positively impact the youth in the community. AJ is identified as a leader with capacity building and engagement skills in community organizing with youth and their families. He participated in the City of Austin Climate Change Ambassador Program. His skills and understanding of cultural relevant history and accomplishments is advantageous. AJ participated in the exchange with university students in sharing skills and knowledge of issues affecting neighborhoods and reasoning for achieving higher education. AJ has participated in activities that provide a nurturing and learning environment for students to stay in school and become lifetime advocates for their communities. AJ, come forward.
The first people I want to thank today are my parents for always pushing me to be the best person I can be and taking all the opportunities that are presented to me. And I'd like to also thank Susana and my grandmother, Sylvia Herrera, for building Poder up from the ground and allowing me to be presented with these opportunities. So thank you.
You're welcome. Our next recipient is Pat King. In 2019, Pat was the first African American to be elected as president of the Austin Neighborhood Council, a council of over 80 citywide neighborhood groups that works on pressing neighborhood concerns. Pat participated on the initiative to put Kodaks on the ballot and was active in neighborhood protections. She supported the protection of the historic Negro School in Montopolis. Pat has participated in the efforts to stop the displacement and gentrification of people of color neighborhoods. Pat, come forward.
That's my daughter. She has to take care of me. This is an honor that I just can't believe. And I want to thank Potter. I believe in what they're doing, and I will continue to support them in any way I can because I know they're for fighting injustice and for equality throughout, for everyone, all people of color. And now, more than ever, Potter is needed. Thank you, Susanna. We've been working a long time.
Oh,
and Daniel.
Thank you. Our next recipient is Anna Bradely. Anna Bradely is a Senior Project Manager for Arts in Public Places, AIPP, for the City of Austin. Anna's understanding of the cultural historic values of the Montopolis community has brought some of the most powerful artists and artwork to the Montopolis community. Anna worked to include community representatives to review artist applications for Montopolis Community and Recreation Center's AIPP artwork. She participated in community meetings and ensured that residents were included in artist presentations. Anna's extensive project management experience in negotiating contracts, budget allocation, communicating with clients and stakeholder needs has made the Montopolis AIPP artwork one of the most beautiful artworks in our community. Anna.
Thank you, everyone. I want to acknowledge Susan Lamb, my supervisor, and also Susana Almanza. I remember when we started working on this project, we met here to think how we could push the limitations of the box that our program has to work within. So we came up with this concept of having a lead artist and community artists to all work together so we could really share the wealth of the city funds, specifically making artwork for our community. So thank you for pushing us, and thank you, Sue, for being a great boss.
Our next recipient is Fidencio Duran. Fidencio Duran was selected as the principal artist for the Art in Public Places AIPP for the new Montopolis Recreation and Community Center. As principal artist, he serves as mentor, coach, and curator for the 4 other artists. The 5 pieces of art include the exterior sculpture, exterior stairwell and wall mural, exterior window shade, montage, and another mural. Fidencio engaged the community at large and specifically the Montopolis residents for the development of the artwork. He was the host for the meetings with the community of all ages. Fidencio tells visual stories that honors the history of family and community. His mural is presently displayed in the newly built Montopolis Gymnasium. Fidencio. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Let's see. Well, thank you so much for this recognition. It's been a wonderful experience working with Montopolis and all the different artists that were selected. It was a challenge for everyone, as I'm sure everybody will attest to, and for different reasons. But I'm glad that I was able to help all 4 of the cohort artists to realize their vision, which is what I've been doing with people for a long time, students mostly. But it's always exciting to help anybody realize whatever their imaginations may want them to make. And I think everybody did a wonderful job doing your work. I think that I'm proud of myself for having allowed you to create your own visions and not supervise too much. And I hope that the struggles that you had or the challenges that you had were not too great. I knew that you could surpass them anyway. So congratulations to you. And I really want to recognize, and I was hoping to have a time to recognize Daniel Yanis, because I know that obviously you were not selected to be one of the artists, but you did submit. You did submit some images of your sculptures from trees. And that was a great influence to me. If you notice the mural, the frame around the mural itself, it was a great idea that you had and the work that you do, and that I know that have been doing for quite some time. And so I wanted to incorporate what you had brought to the table, even though you were not selected. I wanted to incorporate that somehow. And since the other people don't necessarily work with wood or frames, I took it upon myself to do that. So I want to recognize you for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Our next recipient is Augustina Rodriguez. Augustina was selected as the exterior sculptural artist. To familiarize herself with staff, summer programs, and attendance, she volunteered in the Board and Busters program, attended back-to-school event, and met with teachers at Allison Elementary, and attended oral history of Montopolis as told by long-standing community members. Her Montopolis Bridge concept, which bridges families across the river, bridges Montopolis to the rest of Austin, and bridges cultures, is now the condensed transformation from a bridge to tunnel. The tunnel creates more opportunities for interaction and with the playground landscape. Augustina.
Well, thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. I want to thank the City of Austin. I want to thank Poder and the neighborhood leadership. And I'd like to thank Fidencio for your leadership. It was a really great learning process. I enjoyed working with all the artists. I've just learned so much, and I just feel so lucky that I got to work on this sculpture. And I really hope that the community enjoys it. And I'm super looking forward to actually revisiting the new Montopolis Rec Center and kind of revisiting those kids that I originally met with. When I had them kind of develop ideas with me for what the sculpture could be, they all drew rainbows. And I kind of want to be like, hey, you see what, we did together? Because I do feel like it was, I really dug into the community engagement aspect, and I'm really looking forward to doing that again in future work. So thank you guys.
Our next honoree is Mary Jane Garza. Mary Jane Garza created a montage that reflects the Montopolis community's culture, ideas, and history of her personal connection to the neighborhood. To create this montage, she gathered history of the center and the neighborhood. She interviewed former and current neighborhood residents of Montopolis and their interaction with the center. Mary Jane gathered photographs, mementos, newspaper articles, flyers, and other artifacts from community residents, recreation center staff, church, and business members. She used recycled metal material from the original recreation center. Her montage hangs in the lobby of the interior stairwell. Mary Jane.
Hi. Poder.
Yes.
There is poder in numbers and poder in the streets. But with this poder, you can't compete. Gracias for this honor. Este día de Cesar Chavez. Our work is done, but la lucha sigue, tú sabes. A new building comes, the neighbors gather. A change for the better, a future together. Cohorts we were, one and all. Our visions became reality, now forever installed.
Thank you. Our next honoree is Matthew Rodriguez. Matthew Rodriguez created the window shades for the new Montopolis Community and Recreation Center. His images were inspired by his community engagement with the people reminiscing playing sports at the center. Matthew's engagement included seniors from the neighborhood, Conley Guerrero Senior Activity Center, and Alocran Automotive. His artwork celebrates the values of sports of the Montopolis community that has been important throughout our history. Matthew's images of figures playing sports can be seen on the west exterior of the gymnasium. Matthew. Matthew's not here today, but we will make sure and give him his award. Our next recipient is Peter Ortiz. Peter's mural is installed on the exterior north end freestanding stairway wall. His mural, Unity and Pride, captures the feeling, soul, and community vitality of the Montopolis neighborhood throughout its history, from the early indigenous inhabitants to the present. His engagement with the community inspired the stories represented in the painting and reinforced the concept of family and fellowship and unity and pride. In the mural, you'll see the symbols of the neighborhood, such as the historic oak tree, the Colorado River, Montopolis Bridge, blue bonnets, fishing, building, and using sign language. Peter.
Well, didn't expect this. It's a big honor. Poder, I've known of Poder forever, and to be recognized, it's very humbling. I know the work that Poder and everybody I constantly keep up with what's happening, and I just want to say thank you and thank everybody involved. So I thank you.
Our next recipient is Adrian Macias. Adrian has been active member of the Young Scholars for Justice, YSJ, for over 5 years. His activism has included addressing pollution near Zavala Elementary and marching for justice in the annual Cesar E. Chavez March. Adrian has participated in numerous workshops and has also presented workshops. He has participated in the annual cleanup at the Oak Springs Preserve and has used public transportation. Adrian participated in the exchange with university students in sharing skills and knowledge, of issues affecting neighborhoods and reasoning for achieving higher education. Adrian has participated in activities that provide a nurturing and learning environment for students to stay in school and become lifetime advocates for their community. Adrian?
First, I want to thank my mom in the back. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be the man that I am right now. I also want to thank Susana Mansa, my loving grandmother. If it wasn't for her, for the opportunity she gave me, I wouldn't have the privilege to fight, achieve, and work in this community. I don't want to thank those only two. I want to thank everybody in the audience as well. You guys have been so hardworking and so supportive of this community. It honestly brings a smile to my face. Just seeing everybody collectively together and just fight with me for this community. Thank you.
Our next recipient is Jose, Noe, and Hedda Elias. Noe and Hedda are a powerful team couple. Together, they have worked to help preserve the historic Negro School in Montopolis. They have participated in the cleanup of the Birded Prairie, the historic African American cemetery. They have worked to register people to vote, and during the pandemic, made weekly calls to residents to connect them with resources. They have helped survey the residents during the pandemic. They are always volunteering for various children's celebrations at the Montopolis Recreation Center. Together, they have organized against the zoning that would negatively impact low-income residents. Noe was recently elected as Montopolis representative to the City of Austin's Community Development Commission, but it is proud to honor such a dynamic duo. Come on up.
Okay, so let me take this off. I'm actually standing between the two people that I owe the most to in this for this award. My wife, she's always been with me. She's always, supported me. Since I met her, I told her, I grew up in Montopolis. We're going to live in Montopolis. And she was all for it.
We're gonna spend years scoping out land.
Yes, and so that's what we did after we got married. We bought some land, built a house in Montopolis, and then I became active and I got involved with Susana, and you all know Susana. She grabs you in, and if you're there, she's going to push you.
Be a part of this. Be a part of
that.
Like,
and so
we can't count how many organizations we're a part of at this point in time.
And so definitely, so that's where like I said, I'm between the two powerful women that I owe this recognition to. So thank you so much. Thank you, Susana.
Thank you. I know I've also been active in the Welcome Table and Neighbor to Neighbor out of St. James Episcopal, and so it's been really amazing to learn from Susana and be an active part in that organization and try and make that branch and that bridge because we serve Montopolis also, and just make them realize like you really, really have to be connected to your neighbors and your roots and your elders. And that's the only way you really can serve, is if you really, really, really talk to and ask and know the people that you're trying to work with. So we start on our block and then we go from there.
Okay. Thank you so much.
It's been such an honor to work with such good and tremendous people that are making changes in our life. And we always want to make sure that we also include, as part of the culture, is art, right? In dance and the activism, all of them are hand in hand, very important. And at this time, I want to thank our sponsors that helped us put this together. Sarah Eckhart, she is now the state senator. At the time, she was a Travis County judge. Austin Central Labor Council of the Texas AFL-CIO. County Commissioner Margaret Gamez. County Commissioner Bridget Shea. Central Health and Wellness Center. Congressman Lloyd Doggett. And also we want to thank Linda Rife with Rifeline. And also the East Austin College Prep, which is now Promesa. And so I have to say that last year, this was a celebration that was supposed to happen last year. So these ads were, a lot of things have changed, but these are the people who sponsored it at that time, and we didn't finish because of the pandemic came in. But we didn't want to get 2 years behind in recognizing everyone. And so we're real honored that you all were willing to come to our space here at Poder to celebrate. And even though we had to limit the amount of people who could come here, we're very honored that our friend Renee Renteria is videotaping this particular ceremony, and we will be posting it up on YouTube and sharing that with everyone so that we could share it all with the community, the contributions that you all have made to the community. I also want to recognize our staff, Daniel Yanes, who's in the back. He's the project coordinator for VERM, Voter Education and Registration and Mobilization, and Pedro Hernandez Jr., who is one of the organizers and been working on a variety of issues. And also Monica Allen, who is now also on staff with us. And also Alexia Lecoeur, who's been now, she was on staff and now she's gone to bigger things, but she's still volunteering with us. And so we're very, very happy to have her, because we always recognize students, because really Poder is, as we all know, Poder is a poverty organization, and we could not accomplish all the things we needed without students being able to do GIS mapping, research, all types of research, census data, traffic counts, a lot of the things that grassroots people don't have that capability or the access to. And so we are always very grateful to have such knowledgeable students come to participate us, but also to help ground them in the community. So when they are at different places, whether it's DC or anywhere else, they can remember working with Poder, because we've had hundreds of student interns come through Poder. We've been around now for 30 years as an organization. And so we've had a lot of students come through here, and we've also had a lot of the middle and high school, the Young Scholars for Justice program that we run through the summer, and now we're running year long. Thanks for some of the grants that we've gotten. So we'll ask you before you leave to take a time to look at the walls and look at some of the students and some of the history and some of the things that they're working on is up on the walls. But we really want to honor this special day in the spirit of Cesar E. Chavez, and for all that he and Dolores Huerta and the farm workers have done and continue to do. Let us never forget the people who are working on the fields and how we have to work to make sure that they get a fair and just wages, because they are grounded on the earth, and without them, we would not have the food at the table. And so we have to make sure that we always respect and honor the farm workers, and that's what Cesar Chavez, Dolores Huerta, and the organizers, and also unions. Let us not forget that the contribution that unions have brought to our country and our societies. And so with that, I want to thank you all. We honor you all. Thank you all for coming out today to celebrate all these individuals. Good evening.